people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman, I love what she's doing, she's fighting for us. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
Conservative New Media peeps, what's up? It's me, JDV, and we've got PFE over there. Now, you know that I'm John D. Villarreal, the Super Genius, and we've done a bunch of series before called Ask a Super Genius about different things, one of which is there a God? 9-part series, highly rated, people love it, whatever like that. And we may kind of sort of be addressing that again here in a different way. We have Stephen Hawking, who's made news. He's gone out there, he's got a new book that he's going to put out, where he basically says that why do we need God to create this universe? And he's got some different things, some different theories out there. We got to delve into it. Dealing with gravity, and it looks to me like a lot of M theories in there and some other things like that. Paul, you have the news on this. What's going on? And let's comment on it.
Well, to take it from an overall sense, Stephen Hawking has released an excerpt from his book, an upcoming book called The Grand Design, and I think it's coming out September 7th. Now, what he's saying in the book is that the universe, our universe, doesn't need a God in order for it to have been created and in order for it to have existed and started. Basically says something along the lines of, we don't need a creator to have kind of lit the fuse to get to where we're at. But some people have, as we're going to talk about, some people take exception to this and think that even if our own universe doesn't need a God to exist, in some of the theories that Hawking's talking about, there still might be a place for a creator figure.
Okay, and that's it. There's so much to talk about here, and unfortunately we can't do a 9-part series. We may come back to this when the book is out and everything like that. But let me refer you guys to that one. You guys can check out. I did a couple years ago. But if we boil it all down, let's just try to focus on this. Where quantum physics are right now is the new hot thing is M theory. And what that does is it unifies string theory and all the different string theories, supergravity, superstring theory, all these type of things. It unifies them and in a lot of ways supersedes them. And it talks about an 11th dimension. All these other things were done, string theory, different versions of 10th dimension and on down and whatnot. And then we start getting into things like parallel universes or the multiverse or that type of stuff. And it basically says that our universe was created by a collision between two different universes or maybe more. And that these universes or dimensions are kind of like waves and they have ripple effects and they hit in different spots on each other. And where they hit is where matter is created and things sort of like combine, whether it's matter, antimatter, these clumps of matter and whatnot. There's a whole lot more to it than that, but that's sort of a quick summary. Now, when you put it all together, and then gravity is actually a relatively weak force in our universe compared to a lot of other forces. So the theory is, hey, maybe it's actually being projected or comes from another universe. And we see some of those types of things, whether it be with sort of to some extent tachyons, but definitely like things a little bit more like antimatter, wormholes, things of this nature, where there is sort of this escape or coming from or going to sort of another place outside of our universe, or some sort of jumps. Now again, I need to brush up on my physics. I may have gotten some of that wrong, but this gives you a sort of framework. So at the end of the day, this still doesn't change anything, right? So okay, maybe another universe bumped into our universe, maybe some kind of gravity, maybe there's a way to get past the singularity, i.e. the Big Bang of who created our universe, so we didn't need a quote-unquote God to create our universe. Still doesn't solve anything and answer the ultimate question. The ultimate question is there a creator or not? Is there a quote-unquote God? Is there, and therefore, a heaven and everything else? Because, okay, let's say another universe or universes create our universe, or gravity, whatever. Well, what created that? What created that gravity? What created those universes? You're still back to the same fundamental questions. And in fact, Mr. Hawking, I would postulate, again, using the super genius logic, as I've said before, we'll come back to using the super genius logic, if there is another universe or multiverses, possibly an infinite amount of them, then by definition, it is now more likely than before that there is a God and there is a heaven, etc., 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 because now we have more possibilities. Now we have a definite explanation for something otherworldly or other universally impacting our universe and helping basically to create it. And therefore we know, well, it's also increases the likelihood that these other universes operate with an entirely different set of physics. And there we go from there. Right? Now, a couple other things. M theory is still being worked out, still being tested, hasn't been proven. It's had some successes and it still has a lot of questions. A ton of questions. Thirdly, as I said before, the very fact that you, me, everyone, more or less came from nothing in terms of our consciousness. Whenever you were born, before then, whatever like that, now you have consciousness. So the idea that that consciousness came from basically nothing, again, proves that it is possible to, once we die, go to something new. Just logically. Doesn't mean it will happen. Doesn't mean that proves that it will happen or that it's likely to happen or anything like that. It just proves that it is possible. So it's more likely than not because we know that fact. Same thing with this thing with the multiple universes. There might be 1,000 universes slightly different than ours with no God. That's logically possible. But the fact that there are multiple universes makes it more likely that there is a God, a creator, and that there are things like heaven and things like that. Now, Paul, do you have any quick comments on this?
I think you handled that pretty well. I think that, again, it's the main crux here, the main thing is, in Hawking's argument, apparently, you can't say, the way John explained, that our universe, if you accept the fact, or you accept the premise that there are multiple universes, our individual universe didn't have to be designed or created by God, but again, it goes back to, well, what about the other universes, or what about, the beginning of the multiverse? So, that's, I think, where this is going to come down, and we'll find out more when the book comes out.
We'll find out when the book comes out. We love Stephen Hawking. I've seen him live at the University of Utah. Great guy, brilliant mind, but, he's sort of, from what I understand, in that atheist camp over there with a lot of the folks over there in England, and unfortunately a fair amount of folks in the scientific community. It's like an in vogue thing, although it's starting, I think, maybe to turn a little bit. And look, as in the world of science and in the world of physics, as we saw with this, climate gate, in my opinion, hoax, my personal opinion, or at least the scandal. Unfortunately, science follows a lot of hypes, a lot of trends, and a lot of them turn out to be nothing. We respect Stephen Hawking a lot, but I know we're going to be hit up on this video here by a lot of the atheists that think they're really smart. But again, you can't answer that question, and I just proved to you, using one of your own heroes, that it's more likely than not than before. It's now more likely than before with the addition of these new theories, now that we understand that there's possibility of multiple universes. If it's true that there are multiple universes, it's more likely than before we knew that there is a God, and that there is, heaven, whatever you want to say it. That is just logical, can't be defeated. Hit me in the comments below, subscribe above. I am John, that is Paul. We are Conservative New Media, and I am the Super Genius, and we'll see you next time.